Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Comic Arts Workshop. My name is Ramon Gill. I organized the workshop. We've been doing this since 2017. And we meet once a month. Usually have a guest speaker, but sometimes we do other things too. Next month, we're having our holiday party. And in January, our guest speaker will be Moni, who is with the American Library Association. She's in charge of comics and graphic novels. So hope you guys can come to that. And we do have a regular workshop with a curriculum and lessons and that you can join. And that the link for that is in the about page for this meetup group. So tonight we are very honored to have Lisa Wu return to us because she has guest spoken before, but back then she was working for a different company, and now she's with Top Cow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Top Cow. So she's going to talk a little bit about that. But before I know I gave Lisa a bunch of questions, but I just want what I forgot to add to these questions was just, can you give us a quick run? Oh, everybody, please welcome Lisa with a nice round of applause. Sorry.
Curious.
All right. So anyway, so Lisa, I wanted to get from you. You were here before, but for those of you who weren't here the last time, could you just give us a quick rundown about who you are, how you came into comic books?
Sure. My name is Lisa Wu. I've been working with different publishing companies since 2014. How I started out in comics is I started out with comic book reviews, and I actually through some Facebook posts, I actually caught the attention of a comic book review site that did movies and TV shows as well. And the editor reached out to me and said that we really need more female perspective in our organization. And I like what you said about certain things. I think it was a post about some director that we mutually knew was talking about was it X-Men First Class? I love that movie. So caught his attention, and he wanted some more people that had a different perspective and had witty remarks. And then I started writing it. Of course, if any of you write comic book reviews, you always start out kind of just having fun and doing it for free as a hobby. And it kind of progressed, it kind of snowballed into something else with um, with San Diego Comic Con that was approaching at the time, and they were like, "We have an extra ticket for San Diego Comic Con for press. If you want it, come on out. We'd love to meet you in person, blah, 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 introduce you to people." And that's what I did. And I think my first in person interview was with Matt Hawkins from Top Cow, who actually spent over an hour talking to me. None of it I could actually use because he got quite personal. But then after that, yeah, I don't know if any of you guys, I don't know if he does it anymore, but he used to be very open about sharing things about his life. I think he still is. He's a very straightforward dude. That anyway, so I started doing comic book reviews. Then I caught the attention of Dave and Buster's, and that's when I actually started doing marketing. I think I've always been marketing for the different companies that I worked for. Even when I was a teacher, I wasn't even aware of it. I didn't even know that was actually a possibility for a job, honestly, at that time. Something happened to a little girl in my hometown. Well, not my hometown, it was my hometown at the time, Virginia Beach. Nobody showed up to her birthday party at Dave and Buster's. It's not that she was a bad kid or anything. She was a great kid. It's just the other children's parents forgot about it, and they had other things to do. So I decided on my own that I wanted to do something. I saw a Facebook post, again, Facebook post about it, and I decided to comment and said I was going to try to reach out to the managers and get this girl's information and take her to Build-A-Bear. And then I asked some other people who are also in comics in the local area, business owners and creators, comic book shops that I already knew just from being active, kind of like what Raymond is doing, getting people together, and kind of ask them to do the same, to follow suit. I caught the attention of Dave and Buster's and a whole bunch of other people in the community. It kind of went viral in our little town, and tons of people wanted to help when I reached out to them, all the way from IDW, Marvel, DC, because there was a bunch of comic book creators that heard about it and donated things, as well as local artisans and comic book creators like or aspiring comic book creators like yourselves, that wanted to do something, including cosplayers. So it ended up becoming this event for this little girl, and it ended up being this big event for the whole community. Dave and Buster's gave me 2 free event rooms, and we had to open up a third for cosplayers to change. People like traveled from like 3-4 hours away just to go to this one night, a few hour event that I actually only spent $25 for, buying cookies and drinks. And then, I mean, there's like custom cakes, like it was insane. But that caught the attention, of course, again, of Dave and Buster's. They're like, oh my God, what has this become? It wasn't anything that they expected. And anyway, they offered me a job the next day to do marketing for Dave and Buster's, because marketing really is getting people behind a cause, whether it is a comic book that you're trying to sell, a brand, whatever, is getting people to buy in on it. And I don't know,
Cool.
was able to do it.
So when you came to speak with us last time, you were working for Aftershock. What have you
Yeah.
been doing since then?
So Aftershock was really great to me. They were my first publisher, from working from Dave and Buster's. They reached out to me. Since then, I wanted to do something more and have the more ability to basically pave the direction of where a company goes. So I actually moved up to New York with the intention of going and get my MBA without even considering leaving Aftershock at the time. So I worked for a small publisher who offered a lot of money, but also they wanted exactly what I wanted to deliver, and I was able to deliver those things, but they weren't able to keep up with it. So I decided to just go off on my own and start working for myself. And then I was with, great people like Joe Idledge recommending me, other creators that have worked with me, as well as Aftershock recommending me. I was able to get the attention even it was right before COVID kind of hit. I started working with Magnetic Press, which is a totally different line of comics than Aftershock. And I worked for them for a little while, and I was actually approached by AWA Studios, which is a company that was started by Axel Alonso and Bill.
Javas.
Yes, Bill James, and who both came from Marvel. So I worked for them, and then I graduated from my MBA course. I got my degree and everything, and then I actually started getting jobs outside of comics doing marketing, including a CBD. No, not the CBD. They did CBD as well as cannabis. It's interesting. Cannabis. What do you call it? Like vapes and other accessories. So that was a really great, interesting venture that was totally different from what I did before. But it was very similar to comics as well, because there's a lot of things about manufacturing, distribution, again, getting people behind an entire brand. Then also worked for some other companies, including alcohol brands, rum, bourbon, vodka, all sorts of different things. It was a lot of fun to be able to kind of branch out. Oh, hold on. I lost you a little bit. So I worked for
We can still hear you, so
Okay.
you can keep going.
Yeah. So I worked for a lot of the different companies outside of comics. And then what I decided that I actually want to, because I've built a lot of great connections since 2014 in comics. I want to continue working in comics because I really love it. But I also decided to take it up to another level. And I actually started doing cyber, which is totally new, cyber and cyber tech insurance, believe it or not. I'm an underwriter that I started earlier this January. So I decided to stay with, when I started working with Top Cow, I decided, well, how can I manage these two different sides of my, my myself? Somebody who wants to work with, stay in comics because I've built this great community around me and this reputation, as well as doing something different for myself. So I kind of was able to balance the two by consulting. And during this entire time, though, I've been helping creators independently for like Kickstarters or press. So it went from social media marketing to full on marketing to branding and marketing to also press. So press is very much part of marketing as well, is being able to get comic book reviewers and that is trusted in the community to say good to read and say good things, but honest things as well about the comics that I'm trying to promote. So a lot of different things have kind of changed, but it's been great because working with Top Cow has been fantastic. And if you listen to all the different comic publishers that I've mentioned until Top Cow, they're rather new publishers from that are startups that might be less than 5 or 15 years. I started at the very beginning with Top Cow when they launched. And then also, what is it? AWA was also just like a year old. So.
Let me ask you this then.
Oh, Top Cow's been around since 30 years. We're celebrating a 30th anniversary. So they've been around a lot, a long, long time.
So let me ask you, what do you know now that you didn't know when you first started? I mean, there's probably a lot, but what's probably something that's the most significant?
Yeah, you sent me that question. I just didn't know what to say. I think what I did know at the very beginning was I did know, okay, a couple of things. So I'll start with like how I found out things about myself as a person. I found out that, that it's very important for me to work with a company that follows through, that that has a vision, a long-term vision. And I think that's very important. It's all about and that it's a shared vision. And the belief, and then as well how important a culture of a company is. And this is true for any company outside of comics, is that the company that you work for needs to match your own personal views and create a culture that inspires you as well as supports you in what you're trying to do for them. Otherwise, sometimes that won't work. You'll get frustrated, I think.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to go to the next question. So when you decided to go back to school, was that something in relation to comic books? Was something you want, and also how has the degree helped you with this industry?
None. So the MBA program is very interesting. So I had a lot of really great alumni. I went to the Citadel Military College of Charleston, South Carolina. And, they actually got an MBA, and what they wanted to do, it did help them. But I went in there mainly because I wanted to build connections outside of comics and see where my marketing skills can go. outside of comics. I think that's important to do. Just like artists, if there's artists and writers out there, you shouldn't just want to be a comic book writer or comic book artist. You should want to be a writer. You should want to be an artist. And as a marketing person, I didn't want to just be a comic book marketer. I'm more than that. And I think everybody in here is more than that. So I wanted to challenge myself. And I thought that a couple of things, I also wanted to move. At the time, I was traveling around a lot for Aftershock. I visited over 250 stores all across the United States and Canada for them to market their brand and get to know people and everything like that. But I didn't feel like my life was in Virginia Beach. So I needed a change, but I needed a reason for that change. And everywhere I went, I loved. There was always a place, every place that I went to, I loved it. So how was I going to choose? So I had to have a good reason. And then after talking to some of the Citadel alumni who had really great success building relationships at Fordham University MBA program, I was like, you know what? That sounds good. It's costly. It's a costly investment myself, but I always felt like I belonged in New York. It's where I kind of like the first place that I lived when I came to the United States when I was 6, and I loved it then. I always felt like a New Yorker. So the MBA program brought me to New York as well as my connections at from the Citadel. And then from there, I was able to meet a lot of different people. And I think when you live in a certain region, sometimes you don't get to meet the different type of people. And then New York really is a huge hub. Most people aren't New Yorkers. It's kind of interesting. So it was nice to get a whole mix of New Yorkers and outside people having similar goals. I think that was interesting. But yeah, the MBA program did not help me whatsoever with my career. And then, a couple of people before I went into the MBA program was like, Lisa, you're already doing it. It's not going to help you. And I was like, oh, well, maybe some of the connections that I make. And even though the class that I was with, the MBA program, wasn't helpful in what I wanted to do, the people that I met, that the Citadel alumni that I knew, they helped me a lot because their network through the Fordham MBA program, very supportive and very, very good. So, and through those connections, I was able to get jobs in, the cannabis and CBD accessories. It was a great job. I got to work with a company that was, out there in China manufacturing. I had a team that I was managing in San Francisco as well as in New Jersey and New York and Florida. I mean, that's big. And then so that was very eye-opening to be able to see those different things. And then I was able to go into like the alcohol and then other types of, different types of company as a consultant. And being a consultant again is another thing that I really, it goes back to your second question of what I learned. It goes back to my answer is that I want the freedom to be able to choose my clients. I don't just want to be like, this is my life. It's kind of like with being a consultant, you get a lot of freedom to be able to work with all sorts of different people. So, yeah, when you decide to invest in education, make sure you really know what you're getting into. Sit into some classes, get to know some of the alumni, some of the classes right before your group going in, or something, and then just make a really good. It's an investment. It's a very costly investment. So if you decide to go back to school, decide to get invest that money, make sure you're getting exactly what you want from it. Okay. Even though I went through the program and I didn't get what I wanted to get from it, um, that experience and the people that helped me make that bad decision was able to help me elsewhere. So anyway, it's not always about school. I've
Good
told you
advice.
before.
Good
Yeah.
advice. I mean, I went through a 3-year program, and I feel like I learned what I need to learn on the last semester. So,
I know. It's like I didn't feel like I didn't learn enough. And then I'm one of those people who love school growing up. I love school. I'm a big old nerd. I love learning things and I had a passion for it. I had some good professors in my MBA program. And I had maybe it really depends on the cohort you're with, I think. And I'm not saying anything bad about them, but they just weren't they did again, their culture didn't mesh with mine. And I think that's so important to me. I have to like the people that I work with. This is
that's
really
have chemistry, right?
it's that there's a chemistry. That particular class didn't have the chemistry that I was looking for, but the alumni that I went to Citadel with, their cohorts and I had the chemistry, and because I met those people, my expectations were different. Because I met those people ahead of time, I thought that I would get that same experience. It's not true, but it doesn't matter because those people have been just fantastic. In fact, one of the new industry that I'm in, insurance, one of the MBA program graduates in previous cohorts that I met, he gave me such great advice going into that particular industry because he's been at it for like over 40 years. It's been fantastic to hear his advice and encouragement. So,
Okay. Next question. One of your hashtags is Woo Adventures.
yes.
And I've been, and then over the years, I met you. I think I met you at Baltimore. I don't know, maybe 5 years ago. And you always have really looks like you really do a lot of fun stuff on social media.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what is one of your best experiences in this industry? Like, what's a memory aside from
Oh,
the helping the kid with their birthday?
there's so many. What?
Aside from helping the kid with the birthday at
Oh,
Dave and Buster's.
There's so many different experiences that have been positive, and then I think the most recent one is something happened at New York Comic Con that I was very upset about. And, I gave Matt Hawkins a call. And, even though I didn't need him to take care of anything, I could take care of myself. But to have that support that like we're behind you 100% of the way, whatever you want to do to take care of this and make yourself feel better and make sure that you rectify this issue, we're 100% behind you. And then they went from it became a call, it went from a call to Matt telling Mark, and it was just like so supportive. It was amazing. It was amazing to have that kind of support
That's
um, from
that's
from from your from your from your employer or your client is just amazing.
that's great.
Yeah, but there's a lot of little experiences like that here and there. So it's been great.
I know we want to talk about the Top Cow Talent
Yeah.
program, but before we do that, I'll ask you one more question. Concerning the current state of the comic book industry, is there anything you feel that the industry could improve on?
Improve on? Yeah. I think right now our industry has been doing a lot of different things to improve itself, from encouraging diversity to finding new ways of distribution and being at least open to it. I think there's been a lot of changes. I feel like I don't think there's anything else. Well, there's always room for improvement. I I think we're doing it already. In changing comics, like encouraging diversity, um, encouraging new perspectives, in from ways of art and writing different types of stories. It's not just superheroes. And opening the market for new voices and new publishers. I think that's been great. Um, I think you just need to continue the course, and it's we're the last 5 years, all the things that I would have said that we needed to change, we're doing it. So we just need to kind of continue the course.
Stay the course. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we spoke, I think last week or the week before, you told me about the Top Cow Talent Hunt. So why don't you tell us about that?
Oh, yes. So, Top Cow Talent Hunt, they've been doing this for a long, long time. I think before 2014. And they've founded like Stephanie Williams, um, Isaac Goodhart, who's doing all sorts of things for DC. So they're actually giving a really great opportunity for people who really want to be in comics to have that support, from marketing support, distribution, all that, so that you don't have to worry about it. Sometimes it's really hard for a new comic book creator to, publish on their own and get that mass, look at me, look at what I did, what I created kind of situation. So this can really launch people's careers, which is fantastic. Like Isaac, I love Isaac Goodhart. I don't know if you guys have read his stuff yet. Not his stuff, but he does the artwork. But he did what is it? The YA version of Catwoman. Forgot the title. Something Moon, but it's really good. So we give you a whole year to kind of work on. I wonder if I could share my screen so I could show you guys.
Sure. Let me give you screen sharing.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm just gonna make you the host. It seems that's the only way to do it, so you can share your screen. Okay,
Okay.
go for it.
Let me do this. How do I share this? Let's see. I don't see it. I don't see the button for it.
On the bottom, you see a share screen.
Mm-mm.
Okay, let me try that again. Claim host.
But I'm really happy. I'm really while we're trying to fix that, I've been really proud of the promotion that I've done uh for the Top Cow Talent Hunt, because this year we have over 3,000 submissions, and poor Matt Hawkins is going through each and every one. He's been going through them since we launched the talent hunt. So like, definitely believe me when I say this man is a machine, and he's going through every single submission to find the talent that's to win this thing. So if you're submitting, you will have the president of the company look at your stuff. Even if you don't win, you're going to be on their radar for sure. Because I've already seen some really amazing artwork being posted in the Top Cow Talent Hunt Facebook group. And then some people have been sharing theirs on social media, which I've shared. some of the ones that I really liked that they posted on social media as well. And, individually I've, seen DMs of how, appreciated they are, even just for us kind of sharing it on our social. But anyway, I don't see
Um,
the button,
I'm gonna
but
try to share it myself, but I think that would be a good time to take questions from the audience.
sure.
So if anybody has anything.
Yeah, just do a quick search for Top Cow Talent Hunt 2022. And this year we're doing a Cyberforce theme, because this is the 30th anniversary of both Image Comics Top Cow and Cyberforce, which is the comic series that, you know, helped debut Top Cow.
So there you go.
Here it
I'm
is.
sharing it.
Yeah. And we actually did a Kickstarter last year for Cyberforce. We're going back and finding all the different issues and creating volume collections. So volume 1, I think, is being sent out to everybody that backed it. So there'll be a volume 2 in the future. But if you go down, this is the Talent Hunt page. If you go down right there, go up a little bit. Oh yeah, you can go to resources, but rules and submissions, agreement, sample scripts.
Right here.
Yeah. So you kind of have to read through the submission rules and everything. This year, the deadline to submit is November 30th, so that's coming up. It's going to take Matt several months to kind of go through to announce to find the winner and then also announce it, especially with the volume this year. And then we'll be relaunching it again. Every year there's going to be a winner. And Top Cow has found some spectacular talent through this hunt. But there's some like sample plot pages if you don't want to come up with your own or whatever. And then if you're an artist, a lot of it is honestly like following directions, being able to read through the rules and read a script and be able to, deliver the art that goes along with it. So,
All right, questions from anybody?
any questions? And also, if you self-published, you can still submit to this.
Got it. Okay. So does anybody have any questions for
I
Lisa?
have a question.
Sure.
Go
Hi,
ahead, Joe.
Daryl.
Oh, well, hi, Lisa, and hi, Ramon. Thanks for having this. It's great to get to talk to some people in the industry. I am a new publisher. We just actually did our episode 1, and it's out, and we're just getting in the stores and stuff. So my question to you, Lisa, would be for those of us that do have completed projects and things of that nature. What would your first guidance be on a bring to market strategy that has been helpful? A basic bring to market strategy.
Okay.
We are starting to get stores. I want to be clear about that. We have started getting stores now. So
And you guys are just like printing it and then bringing it to them and then
yes.
diamond or something like that so that you can get your stuff on the shelves? Or
No, we're going store to store because we've talked with Diamond and it just wouldn't work out. The cost effectiveness of the way we're printing, even if we increase the volume because of the paper we're using, we would lose.
yeah. So do you have a really strong social media presence?
It's starting to grow. I mean, like I said, we're in this less than a year, and at cons we tend to do pretty well. They're starting to already ask us to be guests next year, and that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So we're increasing the social media presence right now.
Okay, that's going to be a key. And then also, it's so funny. I started with this that wasn't a young company. It was a company that I consulted with briefly, and I think that they were weirded out how I approach things. because we printed out a lot of these sample issues and things like that. And I was handing it out to everybody, even other creators and things like that. Like, how else are you going to be known? Right. And they were kind of afraid of that. I'm just like, like, we don't like to share what we're doing. It's like, why not? Why aren't we sharing what we're doing? Because we need the validation of the community, and we want them to be like, oh, what is this? And be surprised by it. Be shocked that, you know, this new publisher is this old publisher that wants to be known, is ballsy enough to be like, hey, you, this is our stuff. Like, you're printing that stuff out, you get it in front of other creators. You want them to post about it, like social media wise or whatever. And even established, you know, publishers should be doing that. Creators, was it Mark Silvestri recently just came out with his version of Batman and Joker, the Deadly Duo. You know, he's been around for a long time, so he knows everybody, right? But, you know, we're helping promote it as Top Cow because, you know, that's his company. And then we also have a variant version of it that we're selling at our Top Cow store. So we're definitely promoting the heck out of, you know, the DC's products as well as our variant. And you know, some other creators like Mark Millar tweeted something about it. If you go to Top Cow's like Instagram, you'll see that I screen grabbed it, posted it, tagged everybody, let everybody know that in case you missed it, Mark Millar likes it. And then, you know, like another image creator like Rob Liefeld also posted about it. He actually posted that he actually physically went to a comic book shop, picked it up, read it, and loved it, and tweeted about that. And you bet your ass that I screen grabbed it, shared it, as well as tweeted it everywhere. Made sure that, you know, Mark and the team knew about it to like it and share it. So those kind of things. So the more endorsements that you get, the better. And then one creator that's really great about doing this is Zach Kaplan, who I've worked with at Aftershock. And then also I think he did Lost City at Aftershock, and then also Top Cow. He's been doing a ton of stuff with Top Cow. His latest one that I worked with him was Metal Society. And one thing that he does is he asks his comic book creator friends to write an endorsement quote saying, like reading the comic and then saying something nice about it. And then also, a lot of people focus on the writer and the artist, but they forget about the colorist and the letterer. You need to promote them as well. You need to tag them on everything because, believe it or not, letterers work for every single company under the sun because of what they do. And they have a lot of reach too, as long as they're active on social media. Some of them aren't, but they need to be. So make sure that everybody is actively getting that comic out there, and your company, your publishing company as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a question?
I have a question.
Go ahead,
Hey,
Rob.
haven't seen you forever.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I hope all is well. So
Yeah,
Lisa,
great.
I have some, just out of curiosity, do you have any tips on how to build a social media presence?
It's going to take time. You're going to have to get your fellow creators, like the ones in like the folks in this group, to like and share your stuff. One thing that I like to do is you get to, like, for example, Instagram is for artists, the place where you want to really share. Because everybody's on there. Twitter you have to do because a lot of the editors are on Twitter. Editors and writers are more tweeting than you know, doing art, of course.
Gotcha.
And so you have to do both. And then you have to tag everybody. And then now there's this really great option to do collaborations posts. And then what happens is you post something, you write everything out, makes it easy for your partner, if you're a writer, artist, whoever, they accept it and it posts on their page without them doing any work. And that's been really helpful. I think sometimes getting creators to engage when I'm working for Top Cow and other companies is that sometimes they don't have the time to do it. So you have to do it for them. And then another thing is Reels. I love Reels because Reels continue to grow faster than hard posts. And Reels are basically short, you know, you guys seen them, like short little TikTok things. And honestly, the shorter your reel, the better, because more people, this is how do you guys,
About Reels, what is this?
so if you go on Instagram,
Instagram has these videos now on the bottom, in the middle of the app on the
Oh,
bottom.
it's like a
there's-
short video. Okay, my mistake.
like
Yeah.
a short video. Yeah,
these-
like a
these
TikTok
are these are basically
video.
TikToks.
Oh,
It's like
my-
a TikTok, like this,
Start to finish.
like these.
Start, finish. My
See,
drawing
these
process from
are
start to
actually
finish.
very popular
Start,
because it's less than
finish.
like 5
My
seconds.
drawing process.
And
Gotcha.
they're repeating themselves.
I'll look into that.
The shorter the better. And because most people when they're looking through it are like this.
Finish. My drawing before.
Yeah, the thing is, I have nieces that they just
It-
keep
yeah.
making videos.
It's a
and-
rabbit hole. Yeah,
Mhm.
people only spend like 3 to 5 seconds. And then before I used to be very big on just doing videos. But even then when we do videos like Kickstarter videos or videos on social media or whatever, everybody wants to go long. But if you're going long, that's fine. But in order to catch people, it's the first 3 or 5 seconds to catch them to continue to actually watch it. And they usually don't finish watching it. So these reels are very helpful because they are 3 to 5 seconds long. Some people doing longer ones, in my experience, they're not watching it all the way through and they get bored with watching it all through. They was like, oh, this is taking forever, even though it's like only 20 seconds. It's too long for them. So you want to keep it short and sweet. And I think every single artist out there, and then writers, if you have artists, friends that's working with you, you guys should collaborate on a video. So it'd be shared on both your feeds. A short before after. So this is my sketch, this is my ink, or better, this is my ink page, and boom, color. That's all the
Yeah,
people want. So those get a lot of traffic. If you pick the right music, and you know, Instagram's really good about when you look at the different music, telling you how many posts have been made using that particular track. So why not pick the most popular track?
Thank you so much. And I think Krish had a question. So go ahead, unmute yourself, Krish.
Hi, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Krish Ravi Shankar. I had sent a message for you earlier. Sorry, please. My dog is making some noise.
It's okay.
So, I have an idea for a show actually, and I'm trying to see how I can find traction for an entirely new show. So you have a Netflix show like the Lucifer show. So mine is very much based on that, but very much an offshoot of that. It is not anything similar to that, but completely different. That's a real life show. I have a movie show. Mine is more like a talk show. I want to make it like the devil is talking to people. Do you
Mhm.
think people have an appetite for something like that? You know, it's like
Sure.
I can basically go in as the Lucifer, as the devil. I have all the material necessary, and I can make fun of the think I can do. I can read people's minds literally. I know things for example, I can ask a question. I can make people as embarrassed as possible in the show. That's my specialty. My specialty is getting the audience totally embarrassed. I can pick a girl and say, "Hey, when did you have sex last time?" Simply like that, like right next to her husband. That's going to embarrass the audience so much. That's a Lucifer show. Lucifer show is not for kids. It's a highly going to be raucous show. It's more like a Jerry Springer show, but it's going to be a Jerry Springer show in a public place.
Mm. Well, I don't know much about TV shows, but I know how the comic book industry approaches it. And honestly, a lot of new publishers treat comics as a way to pitch their titles because people have a hard time visualizing the concept sometimes. So it almost acts like a storyboard for creators to be like, oh, this is my idea. This is how it's gonna look, how it feels, and then honestly, like it's really hard for people who don't have connections in Hollywood to get their show even looked at though. So the companies that I worked with in the past, like Aftershock and AWA Studios, they all had some kind of they all hired somebody that has those connections to pitch those ideas and stuff like that, and as well as lawyers and stuff. So I have no idea how somebody like me who have now I have connections in those things, but not really because I don't really particularly work with them. But I know that my marketing and PR though very much helps them get it in front of people or get people to go, oh, what is that? Somebody brought this, somebody wrote about it and it was like, oh, and then calls those people that those companies hired to start talking about movies. I remember when I started out at AWA, I don't even remember
Can I
which
interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
Sorry about it. See, the thing is, I'm not trying to take a movie. It's not about a movie. I'm
Oh.
not going to Hollywood. This is just basically comedy show, mostly. This is a talk show. That's like talk show means what I mean is like stage based, where I am just participating, interacting with audience on.
So I think you just need to start shooting it.
Okay.
If I feel like if you look at all the stories of people who had talk shows or like what was like Steve Carell and all those people, didn't they just start shooting back in the day? I think they put it on local access. Is that correct? I don't know, but people started just. I mean, now you have YouTube. You have reels on Instagram and TikTok. Those are going to be your channels of getting your idea out there, right? So I guess you have to start using those platforms. But if you ever want to be in I won't be able to help you get sell an idea to Netflix or something like that because I actually don't have those connections. Not really, because I've never actually pitched a TV show to anybody. But I know again, PR helps. When I started with AWA, I think one of the books that I promoted got on. I talked to. I got it reviewed by the Hollywood Reporter, and boom, within the same day of that article coming out, some Hollywood producer had called our lawyers and was like, "Hey, tell me about this. I'm interested." So, but again, goes to marketing, PR, and the people that they hired, they're connected, so people trust them. And then also they're the ones marketing it. They're the ones taking the materials that the comic and then going, or in your case, a reel and be like, hey, this is why you should buy it, kind of thing. So, but I think Instagram, YouTube, those are going to be where you're going to be able to sell yourself. one of my friends sent me this very inappropriate Instagram. Well, not inappropriate, funny, like very comedic Instagram with really funny reels. I'm like, this should be a show. Like, it was just recently. So you have to just kind of get those ideas. Like, who's that guy, Billy on the Street? Do you guys know that he later on was in
Yes, he
do
did
you
a
guys,
lot of YouTube videos.
yeah,
Where
he did a lot of
interacted
YouTube
with people on
videos
TV.
going around
Streets.
harassing New Yorkers. Yeah, yeah. Like, that's all he did, and now he's a star. He got a movie that bombed that recently came out, but he's a movie star now. Like, what? So he just went from YouTube. If you have to have, if you have a good idea and people like it, people think it's clever and funny, you have a shot, I think.
Thank you very
Okay.
much. I think I got just one last question. What is the difference between reels and a post on Instagram? Is there going to be a difference between a reel and a post?
Yes. So a post is usually just a photo. Nowadays, videos become reels, but videos, posts are they're not as interactive, I don't think, anymore.
So if I put anything as a post, it automatically becomes a reel. If I put a video as a post, it automatically becomes a reel.
Yeah, it does. But reels, see, I've noticed this, and a lot of people, when they shoot videos, they shoot videos portrait, right? Like on the TV screen. Hold on. Like a TV screen. So like right now, you're watching, you're in this Zoom on your phone, correct? Yeah.
I'm on the phone.
See how it's long like this?
Yes,
Portrait.
it's not landscape. It's no,
Yeah.
Vertical. It's vertical.
it's
Yeah,
vertical.
so like Raymond's video will be a terrible reel because he has it landscape. So what happens is it's gonna not fill out the entire screen of your phone. So it's gonna only be like this, be small.
Oh, okay.
Reels need to be portrait. It needs to fill up the whole screen in the video when you shoot it.
Okay.
And then reels are usually shorter. If you're doing a TV, kind of like a TV show kind of situation, yours of course is going to be longer. So you should follow some of those.
So I'm also thinking, yeah,
I
I'm also
don't-
thinking, no, I think 30-second clips, like you said, is good. 30-second clip or a
Yeah.
1 minute clip. You have to start with a catching phrase like, hey,
yes.
when was the last time you had sex? Something like that. So it'll be a catchy phrase, and then people will get the catch, and then it goes on for 30 seconds, you get the joke, and then you kind of even can simulate an audience response to, oh, you
Yes.
said that. And then you can simulate the response, and you can create a joke, and then in fact put some noise in the back. You can even put some laughter. I think there's some news like you can got the applause.
Yeah,
right?
if you
Like,
want to. I don't think you even have to do that. I don't think you have to add laughter unless you want to, but I don't think you need to. If it's really, if
I'd
it's
like-
fun, you don't need to do it.
Anybody else have any other questions? Jill, Tyler, anybody?
Hi there. This is great.
I can always count on
you-
Jill for a question.
It's not that interesting because I'm kind of sick right now, but you mentioned collaboration. I was looking on Instagram and I didn't see how
Oh.
we do that. Is that easy to find?
Yes. So let's go through, everybody. Pick something on your phone. Get on Instagram right now. There we go. All right. So you go on Instagram. You hit your little post, but then you want to hit post reel. Doesn't matter. Post. All right. Pick a picture. I'm picking this dog.
Mhm.
Okay. Then I go next.
Sorry, can you bring that over to the center of the screen? There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
go to next.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't do this on Top Cows, but anyway, this is a sample. I'm not actually gonna post it. You write your comment, short, lots of different hashtags, some focused, some very broad, okay, to get more views. Then you hit tag people. Then you hit tag. You tag whoever you want. Like tag. You can up to 20 people. Don't spam people though. People don't like that. Okay, so let's do Marco. He's a colorist. I love him. I actually just recommended him to somebody at dinner to do coloring. But anyway, then right next to add tag, this says invite collaborator. You see that? That's going to be, you only get one person to collaborate with. So who do you want to collaborate with? Now you have to think, who has the most reach? Well, it has to be a relevant person, right? It can't just be some person's not going to accept it. Some of your okay. So if you're an artist, if you're a writer and your artist has a lot more reach, like 30K, then you're going to want to share it with him instead of your, I don't know. But if your artist has like 30K, but then your friend, Mark Silvestri, has like 80K and he's your friend and he said he's willing to accept this, then you hit that 80K. And then what happens is it's going to show up on his feed and your feed as soon, well, it's going to show up on your feed first. As soon as Mark or whoever accepts it, then it's going to show up on their feed. Exactly what you wrote and everything. So, yeah, takes the work out of for the other person. And then what happens is it's going to reach both your followers and his followers. And what you guys can do is both see the insights, like who did you guys reach? How many likes happened? How many people from your followers actually interacted with it? And how many people that doesn't follow either of you have interacted? So that's an interesting insight for you. It's good to know.
That's amazing. So that, but they, as you said, they have to accept it actually. So
They
they're
have
going
to-
to see it. They're going to see it pop up as so-and-so wants to collaborate
Yeah.
with you. Is that
It's
cool
gonna-
with you?
It's going to show up on their DM. Their DM. And it's going to be a picture of the reel or the post. And it has sometimes a blue bar, I think, that says review first. So they'll review it. They'll be like, okay. Or not even review it. And then they have to hit afterwards, they have to hit accept. And then I'll post.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It's very helpful. I love it. So I love
It's
collaborating.
kind of like riding somebody's coattails, but at least you're asking permission.
Yes. Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're at the 1 hour mark now. So we're gonna wrap it up. So I'll ask one more question, unless somebody else has one. I'll ask one more question. What advice can you give aspiring creators who want to get into the talent hunt?
Oh, the
Oh.
talent hunt?
Yeah.
Oh,
What's something
Well-
that they should be doing?
they have to read all the instructions. They have to read all the instructions and know what they're getting themselves into. And then they need to be able to hit deadline. They want to be creative. You want to draw the way that you want to draw, but still embodying the essence of, the characters that Top Cow has asked you to draw on or write about. But being able to, if you're an artist, being able to follow the directions and reading what the writer has written, and the details, that's going to be really important. And then for the writers, they have to be able to remember that they only have words, black and white, to find a way to quickly deliver the information they want for the artists and for the editors to kind of read about. So I don't know, follow directions. I think it's very important. It's amazing how many adults can't follow directions. It really is.
Yeah, I see that all the time.
I used to be a teacher and you're a teacher. You like, it says like circle and people don't circle. I don't know. Like those tiny little things. Oh, define, not just one word, like explain yourself, like those kind of things. I think that's the fundamentals of any job that you get into, is being able to follow direction.
Can I
Well,
ask one more question?
Yeah, go
Sure.
ahead, Jill.
I'm sorry, that's after the deadline, so it's kind of like not reading directions. Sorry. What's your elevator pitch? What's your really short thing? Like, how do you say who you are and what you do? Hi, Lisa, what do you do? We have like two floors. Doors are gonna open
Oh,
any
for
minute.
me as a
Yeah.
marketer, I love making money. I love helping you make money. So then I could get a bonus, or I get a better paycheck or something. Honestly, that's all these companies want to do, is make money. But I'm not just a person that just sells like a retailer something that it's not going to sell for them. Like I'm honest about how I want to help people make money. I want everybody to win. So I think that's why I have a pretty good relationship with comic book retailers, is because, certainly I want Aftershock, AWA, or whatever my previous, I definitely want Top Cow to do well because I'm working for them right now. But I'm not going to be like, hey, somebody that's in like a suburban neighborhood that has a school across the street, I'm probably not going to pitch them something that is like super like sexy, right? They're not going to want that on their shelves. So I would find the needs of the different people in order to make that, money happen. Everybody has to win, because you can't break that trust. I think that's why I was hired with Aftershock, is, there are a lot of veterans. There were all like veterans in the industry, 30, 40 years, what, I don't know. I don't want to age them, but a lot of years. But they wanted somebody new that wasn't in the industry to build trust with retailers. Why is that? And then they gave me a chance, but I understood what they needed. But when I went to the interview, I already talked to comic book retailers to learn a little bit about how they order things and all this other stuff and what they need from a new publisher. And I found out that a lot of retailers don't trust new publishers, because they might have one hit wonder and they just like, bam, I'm done. It's an investment for them to put something on their shelves. They have just limited space. I'm not going to sell them something that's not going to work out for them. They'll never buy from me again. So when the publishers, Gerald, when you go
Yeah.
out to find comic book shops to work with, make sure you find the right ones. Otherwise, you'll be wasting your time and theirs.
Thank you. Can I ask one very quick question? And I think that it will help everybody. I promise it's very quick. Lisa, what's your social media so we can follow you like on Instagram and Facebook and that
It's
type of
going to
stuff?
be just food pictures and dog pictures. And then occasional press. I don't know if you want to follow it, but it's the Woo Report. And I think earlier Raymond mentioned like my little hashtag that everybody knows, like comic book creators have like, oh, Woo Adventures, like, yeah. And then it's because honestly, even when bad things happen to me, I do think it as an opportunity, a lesson, or whatever. So I think everything is an adventure for me. So I think my boyfriend sometimes like, oh, work has been kind of boring. And I was like, there had to been something interesting. That's how I see it. Like, I might have a horribly boring day, but at least I find something interesting in it. So anyway, that's how I see life. So that's why it's a Woo Adventure. But yeah, you can follow me. It's at the Woo Report, and I'm on Twitter as well.
Lisa, thank you so much. This has been
Oh, no
great.
problem.
You're always a great interview. Lots of practical advice and lots of and lots of fun advice too. So
Hold on. I want to be able to see you guys when I say goodbye. My face is on.
one last thing before we wrap it up, before we take off, I just want to remind everybody that we are having our traditional in real life Christmas holiday party, not Christmas, but holiday party on December 2nd, Friday. And I apologize for those of you who don't live nearby, but it's going to be in the Lower East Side in the village, actually. I think it's on 2nd or 3rd Street. Some of you guys were there last year, and we're having again the same place as this year, except this time we're doing something different. We're going to do a book exchange. So everybody bring a graphic novel that they don't want, or there's something that they just didn't like or whatever. It can be a slightly used graphic novel. That's fine. I don't want anybody to spend any money on this, but we all have that graphic novel that we're done reading, or we never read, or we don't want anymore, or it was given to us. So bring that, but make sure you gift wrap it because there's a game involved. Okay. And it's also a potluck. I'll supply pizza and drinks, but everybody brings something to munch on. And then in January 8th, we have Moni Barrett, who is with the American Library Association, and she will be talking about how creators can work with librarians to promote their books. Okay, Lisa, I hope you can come to the holiday party since you're local now.
Yeah.
And everybody, thank you very much for coming out. A nice big round of applause and thank you to Lisa, please.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining.
Thank you, Lisa.
And say hi to her at when you see her at a convention. You can't miss her when she's at a convention.
All right, later, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, take care. Thanks so
Bye.
much.
Thank you.